The NAFTA renegotiations will have a wide reach, but the deal could be especially significant to our border city. Greeks voted today on the country's financial future, choosing whether to accept creditors' demands for more austerity in return for more rescue loans. Windsor is the latest Canadian city, announcing it hopes to entice corporate giant Amazon to set up its new headquarters in the area. Mixed results on the markets to end the trading week amid uncertainty caused by Hurricane Irma. In Toronto, the TSX dropped 39 points, but in New York, the Dow added 13, while the Nasdaq fell 38. The Canadian dollar continued its rise, adding a tenth of a cent. And on commodity markets, gold gained 90 cents an ounce, and oil lost $1.61 a barrel. There's been a massive cybersecurity breach affecting millions of people. The credit monitoring company Equifax says personnel information of more than 140 million Americans, along with an undisclosed number of Canadian and British citizens, was exposed by hackers. The information includes social security and credit card information. Equifax has established a website where you can check to see if your personal information may have been affected. That website is equifaxsecurity2017.com. Canada's economy is on its longest monthly job growth streak in nearly a decade. More than 22,000 net jobs were added last month, and the national unemployment rate fell to 6.2%. According to Stats Canada, August was the 9th consecutive month for job growth across the country. The last streak that lasted this long was before the financial crisis 9 years ago. However, the data shows the growth was fueled by less desirable work. More than 100,000 part-time jobs were created, but the economy lost nearly 90,000 full-time positions. The jobless rate in Windsor remained the same at 6.2%. Farmers should be focusing on their crops this time of year, but many of them are worried about their taxes. Proposed changes to the country's tax code could impact the future of the family farm forever. CTV's Scott Miller reports. A local restaurant is once again expanding. A ribbon-cutting ceremony today officially launched the newest location of Spago. The popular restaurant is located near the Augustus Hotel lobby. This is Spago's third location in the city. The company employs over 175 people in total, with 65 of them now working at the Caesars restaurant.
That conversation has started. I have a meeting later this week with Dan Gilbert, and Windsor will be, joining the bid with Detroit for Amazon's headquarters.
During Open Streets, Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkens spoke openly about the excitement behind a potential two-nation Amazon headquarters pitch.
So there is a whole team now that's engaged. So on our side, we're working with WEETC, the Windsor Essex Economic Development Corporation. They're putting together pieces. The province of Ontario is putting together pieces, and all of this has to happen very, very quickly.
Dan Gilbert is the founder of Quicken Loans and also owns the NBA's Cleveland Cavaliers, among other sports franchises. He's invested billions of dollars into the revitalization of Detroit and has now been tasked by Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan to lead the city's bid to land the corporate giant. In a statement, Gilbert says, Detroit is the only city competing for Amazon's headquarters that not only sits on an international border, but the busiest international border of one of our country's largest trading partners. Gilbert goes on to say he's excited to work with Windsor and that Amazon will be able to draw employees from two countries rich in technology talent with diverse backgrounds, while cementing it as the first major company in the world whose headquarters would literally share an international border.
They're talking about 50,000 jobs at averaging over 100,000 each per year in wages.
Jim Marsh is the chair of St. Clair College's business program. He says landing Amazon's headquarters would be a game changer for the entire region.
It diversifies our economy into an IT-based economy. We've been trying to do that for years.
And Marsh is not worried that the company might shy away due to the uncertainty of NAFTA renegotiations and other cross-border red tape.
There's certainly advantages of having a part of it on the Canadian side. Would lessen some of the immigration issues, possibly for talent. Not having to work in Detroit, they can work in the Canadian side.
Other major cities making a pitch include Toronto and Ottawa. And according to Business Insider, New York is emerging as the leading contender. The deadline for bids is October 19th. Christie Bezaire, CTV News.
Windsor Essex has received official designation of a foreign trade zone point in Canada.
Federal Minister Navdeep Bains announces that Windsor-Essex will be the second region in Ontario to become a foreign trade zone.
More than half of North America's population lives within an 8-hour drive of Windsor-Essex. So clearly this is a hub of economic activity, and all major forms of transportation service exist within this region.
Bains says the area is an international gateway, making the designation an easy choice. The region is now the 8th federal trade point in Canada.
See, international businesses know what foreign trade zone means. They know what programs it offers, what discounts, what tax deductions.
The Windsor-Essex Economic Development Corporation applied for the federal designation and has been working on attaining it for the past 2 years. Officials say the region will now be marketed as an FTZ point, which will draw new jobs and business opportunity.
Warehousing, transportation, logistics, that is one industry that will do extremely well.
Faro Logistics helps Canadian and U.S. companies efficiently move goods across the border.
We're very excited about it, and Faro was happy to host the announcement here in Windsor, and we think it's a great opportunity for not just Canada, but for clients looking to come to this region specifically.
Lori Tanous says there are a number of benefits for their clients, including importing a greater number of goods, deferring duty for up to 4 years, and to have access to global markets. And what's good for the client is good for them.
Being able to draw greater attention to the opportunities that are in Canada, but also the programs from a duty and tax perspective could certainly lead to expansion.
There's also a benefit for small retailers like Freed's, which can offer incentives to American customers.
They are able to purchase from us, and if we ship the goods back to them over the border, they're able to receive the clothing, in our case, tax-free.
Letter's been rescinded. We live to fight another day.
FCA transport drivers seem cautiously optimistic after a long morning meeting with their union.
We're unsure about a lot of things, but it's the nature of the business. They own the keys to the building. They can do what they want.
Unifor 444 officials say FCA has rescinded the letter they were given back in March, stating that the company was getting out of ground transport services, which would have eliminated 285 local jobs in September.
It gives us an opportunity to sit together and come up with some cost savings measures that'll be able to save the department and hopefully maintain the department long term.
Workers from FCA's trades and transportation divisions, along with union executives, have formed a committee tasked with finding cost savings to keep the department viable.
The company is going to have another group of individuals that will be able to sit and work out almost like a mini set of negotiations.
Kyoto says the two sides have 1 week to share ideas. They must present a list of cost-saving solutions by August 18th. Some employees express concern about not knowing the exact number when it comes to cuts that will satisfy the company. They say they've only been told it's in the range of $10 to $12 million.
We don't have new trucks. We have trucks that should have been replaced 2 years ago. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they're going to be satisfied with the cost savings that we can present to them in a few weeks.
If the business plan isn't strong enough,
they will reissue the letter, at which point we've agreed to go to expedited arbitration if that were to happen.
But Kyoto says the company already has suggestions for savings, and ideas were brought forward today from workers during the closed-door meeting.
This is a clear victory, because if we didn't do this, we would already be potentially outsourced by September 24th.
I think they're going in the right direction, and the union's doing the best they can for us.
This department's been around since the late 1960s, Christie. I don't think any of us are prepared to let it go.
Christie Bezaire, CTV News.